Time to install some landscape lighting. Hello, today we're going to get started on the landscape lighting up at the gate and traveling all the way down the driveway. Now, this has its challenges because it is such a long run. I've got a huge spool of wire that I have got to string out all the way down the driveway and zigzag it back and forth through the conduit that I installed while we poured the driveway. So I'm going to get started on doing that. In addition to running the line, I'm going to be building 5 timbered lamp posts to strategically place left and right of the driveway that will hang some pretty cool traditional lanterns from that we're going to wire with low voltage. I've also got some spotlights that are going to be going up at the front gate and a couple on some future trees. So let's get started with the line. All right, guys, well, it's time to put in the spotlights, and this is a heavy metal spotlight. I love it. My good friend David Woods hooked me up once again, as he always does. This is from a company, Brilliance Metalworks, and this is their Black Diamond series. I am really impressed with just the feel of this. I can't wait to get it in here. I think we have 8 or 9 that we're going to have up here at the front. I haven't forgotten, I've got to run the long line down the hill for the lanterns. That's going to come in a second. But for right now, I'm going to get started putting these things in, and I'm looking forward to using it. This step is pretty easy. You just connect your wires, twist them up really good and tight, but make sure more than anything use a waterproof wire nut. Has a lot of this anti-corrosive gel in it, and it squeezes out all over the place and gets on your hands. Kind of a pain, but at least you know it'll stay watertight. Time to roll out this wire down the hill. All right, I have completed the long run all the way down the driveway. We wrapped it around, and we're going to light up this tree, and we're going to light up the geyser with this run, and there'll be a post right here. So let me walk you through this. I got a couple more pass-throughs underneath that I'm going to have to do, but there'll be a lamp post here where this pipe is. That's the conduit running under here. I'm going to have to dig that up and find it over here. There'll be a lamp post here, and down where you see those bags, there'll be a lamp post. And then further in the distance, if you can see, there's some more cement bags. There's going to be a lamp post there, and then one up on the hill. What I need to do now is find the other end of this conduit. I'm going to dig that out. I'm going to scoot the wire through, and I got one more to do, and I'm going to take a break. Well, everyone, we had 500 feet of 10 gauge wire. I probably stretched each run a little bit more than I needed, but the very last run, there was just enough to to run all the lights. 500 feet. It's a lot of wire, long run. We got a good transformer, so it should be just fine. All right, well, it's time for us to start working on the lamp poles that are gonna line the driveway. We are gonna build something that is very reminiscent of the light poles at Disney's Wilderness Lodge in Orlando. It's one of my favorite places. You've probably heard me reference that several times before. I'm going to hijack a picture and place it up here somewhere so you can see what I'm talking about for reference. But their design is a 3 log pole design that's clustered together, and it's bound by black metal straps. So I'm going to try to do the same thing, only however, when I priced out how much those round poles cost, I was astounded. They were about $30 a piece, so I decided that, you know what, I can do the same thing with some landscape timbers for under $4 each. So I'm going to have $12 in a post, then I'm going to buy a metal hanger. We already had the stain, we already had the screws that are going to bring it together, but we'll cluster these 3 in a group. We are going to have it above ground. We're not going to bury the wood in the ground where it can rot, so we're going to pour a concrete pad with an iron pole that comes out. We'll bolt to that iron pole and build these columns around it. So one of the things that, if you notice up there, they have a beveled top end, and each one of them progressively step down about 6 inches. So we are going to copy that as best we can. I love it. I love going there, so I want to bring a little bit of that to my home. Now we're going to start cutting it and getting everything ready for assembly and paint. Good morning. Well, today we're going to be digging holes and concreting in the post that will support the wood post. Now, I chose to go with landscape timbers, and I truthfully don't believe that they have as much treatment as a traditional pressure treated 4x4. So, of course, we've stained them, but I don't want to bury them in the ground. So essentially what I'm doing is putting a support bar through the middle, which I'll attach the landscape timber to. I'm also going to space it off of the ground just a little bit. I'll probably use some galvanized roofing nails or aluminum roofing nails into the bottom of the landscape timber just to kind of hold it up off the ground. But for the most part, I don't want them to rot, and I think they'll last a long time doing it this way. Here we go. All right, people, we finished the last of the 5 lampposts. It took us 2 days to do it, and I am thoroughly impressed with myself. What an ego. It looks just like a miniature version of the Wilderness Lodge down in Orlando. I'm really happy with it. I think Jana's really happy with it. The next thing that you're gonna see is us wiring up these lights, and then we'll come out here in the evening and you'll see the entire driveway and the entry lit. So stay tuned. Here it comes. All right, guys, so we have finished the lights. I'm gonna open the gate now so you can kind of see. We got the columns lit on both sides so you can see it coming and going. We strategically lit some of the trees through here. Wow, check out these lampposts. I just love these things, and they turned out exactly the way that we wanted them to. Man, I love it. And I think one of my favorite parts about coming down here is triggering the geyser. Hey, thank you guys for watching. See you soon.